8 p.m. last night, 8 a.m. this morning. Must be something special about that spot. Hi, Judd here. We're back on the porch. When last we left, I upped the height on this back piece here. This piece here is added, and that lifted the back end up to give me the slope I needed. But now, this beam, of course, has a big gap between it and the roof. So we're going to move that forward till it hits the roof again, and then secure it in place. And this one, which had the rotted out ends, we're just going to completely remove because I don't really need it. It was a bit of overkill. The back porch has just the front beam and the back beam, and it's fine. But the most important thing is to get the overlay done, the braces that lay over the top of this thing to keep the wind from lifting it up and ripping it off. That's the biggest threat to all these roofs down here. So that's what we're going to be working on today, and maybe a little paint touch up, but that should wrap it up. Now on the braces for the top, I'm using 3/4 inch PVC, and I want the top of the flat one there to be a little stiffer, so I'm going to put a metal pipe inside of that, a piece of EMT conduit. So that's going to stiffen that up a bit. So that's the plan, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, okay. Okay, so here I'm unscrewing the beams from the frame of the roof, removing that rotted beam, and sliding the good beam forward till it hits the roof, then making sure it's true on both sides, same distance, and securing it back in place. Okay, now I'm trying to get the sizes, the lengths I need on those PVC pipes for the front end. And then I've got to get the length for the one on the center beam. There's one going there, and that's a different length because it's got the curve in it. And that was tricky. I'm trying to get it. It rolled off the roof and smashed the camera. So I put it back up with a couple of clamps to hold it in place till I could mark it, and then brought it down. Then I'm cutting them to length. And I pull up my piece of EMT, and I'm cutting that to length with the angle grinder. And filing the end smooth. And now I'm inserting it into the PVC with some Gorilla Glue, which expands, so once over the next 24 hours that'll get it nice and tight in there. And now I'm gluing the end pieces onto the PVC, prime and glue. The trick here is making sure both ends are going at the same angle. So I had to extend the porch a little bit. Okay, now I'm working on the single one, and I went and put on an end before I put the cable in. I shouldn't have done that. It made putting the cable in a lot more difficult. There's a heavy gauge wire, vinyl wrapped, that I'm putting through it with an extra 5 or 6 feet on each end to secure it underneath. This is similar to the stuff I've got holding down the whole roof of the house. Okay, so now I'm putting that up and pulling those cables tight, pulling that cable tight, and nailing, stapling it to the framework, and now securing it to itself in the center. Later on I'm going to get a turnbuckle to put in there at that center joint, but for now this will do. Stapled it up to the beam, and now I'm slipping on the front beam, the front brace, and now I'm bending perforated metal strips to make brackets to hold the bottom pipe in place. And that's how the front piece will be held down. And that's about it. So guess what? I just finished rain. All done. Happy day to you.